Hi, welcome to Co-Invest Cleantech. Normally we'd all be together in May in downtown Chicago, but this being the year 2020, of course, we're together in October virtually in our home offices, or in my case, I get to be outside talking to you today. I'm Kevin Phelan, and I act as the Master of Ceremonies for the Co-Invest events annually. This year I won't be able to do my bad jokes and transitions on the stage, and so thankfully you only have to put up with me for about 2 minutes here at the start. Over the next couple of hours, we're going to be meeting some of the partner companies and startups that Clean Energy Trust has invested in over the last decade, as well as some of the new partner companies and new startups that are joining us this year. Over the last decade since the formation of the trust, who of us really could have imagined the journey that we've all been on? From what seemed like the leading edge of thinking at the time and trying to really establish and grow the ecosystem of clean energy in the Midwest, to now being at the forefront of helping to solve the global climate crisis and many of the other challenges that we face. So for 2 hours, we're going to hear from the brightest and the best in the clean energy world. And certainly, I think we're all going to get the chance to really reflect on just how important the work of these organizations and Clean Energy Trust is. Thanks for joining us. I'm now going to hand over to Eric Burketts, who's the Chief Executive Officer of Clean Energy Trust. And Eric's going to tell us a little bit more about what's in store over the next couple of hours. Thanks very much for joining, and I really look forward to what's coming. Thanks.
Good afternoon and welcome to Co-Invest Cleantech. My name is Eric Burketts and I'm the CEO of Clean Energy Trust. I think we can all agree that 2020 has been a crazy year. We definitely did not envision what would go down when we began planning for our 10th anniversary. Nevertheless, we persevered, we worked hard, we got some good stuff done, and we're excited to show some highlights today. And our hope is that you'll walk away feeling inspired and optimistic about the future. There's something special about entrepreneurs who are dedicating their lives to solving our climate and environmental challenges. The team at Clean Energy Trust expresses our admiration to all the companies presenting today, as well as all the other entrepreneurs working in the global clean tech ecosystem, pursuing such noble and important work. Thank you. I am often asked about my views on climate and whether I'm optimistic that we can limit global warming. I am optimistic. I am optimistic because there are such brilliant people working in science, in innovation, and climate entrepreneurship. I am optimistic that despite the lack of federal leadership on climate, cities and states have assumed the leadership mantle. I am optimistic that corporations will begin decarbonizing significantly, as witnessed by carbon commitments announced by so many utilities and corporations around the world. Of course, announcements need to be met with action, and I am optimistic that Wall Street and the capital markets will increasingly hold companies accountable for their climate actions and climate risks. There are two very important points that I do wish to emphasize. The first is that we need to move fast. Climate scientists have warned that the next 10 years are absolutely critical to the health and well-being of our planet. And number two, there is an innovation imperative. Scientists have also warned that a significant amount of required emissions reductions in the future hinge on technologies that are not yet commercially available. This innovation imperative is what Clean Energy Trust is all about. And I am grateful to Nick Pritzker, Michael Polsky, and Amy Francetic for having had the vision to start Clean Energy Trust 10 years ago. We've had 10 years to build our model, to refine it, to prove our impact. We are primed and ready to go at this critical juncture. And to all our partners, we thank you for your support and for your belief in our mission. We wouldn't be where we are today, and we won't get to where we are going tomorrow without you. You may have seen that we've also announced some board transitions. Tim Schwartfeger and Keith Crandell, both original board members dating back to 2010, will retire this year. We will miss their wisdom, their leadership, and steadfast commitment to our work. Tim, Keith, thank you. Michael and Nick will also be transitioning from board co-chairman to chairs emeriti. And although they won't attend as many board meetings in the future as they have in the past, both have expressed their commitment to continue to support the organization in our work. And I'm excited that Amy Francetic will become our board chairwoman, which will provide continuity as we move forward into our next chapter. We've also added some terrific new board members this year. Dr. Cheryl Martin, Colleen Calhoun, Tim Stoika, Maggie Pakula, Andrew Schwartfeger. I am so excited to work with them as we push forward. And finally, Nick, Michael, Amy, I want to express personal thanks and gratitude to you. Thank you for entrusting the leadership of Clean Energy Trust to me. And thank you for affording me the opportunity to build one of the best teams I've ever worked with. I feel so fortunate that every day I derive such joy and intrinsic satisfaction from my work. Thank you. With that, let me transition to Amy Francetic and a few other longtime CET friends to say a few words. Enjoy the afternoon.
Hello, Amy Francetic here in the Middle Fork Savannah in Lake Forest. This has kept me and my family healthy and relatively sane during the COVID lockdown. Nature is medicine and therapy, and it was my primary motivation for helping to create the Clean Energy Trust 10 years ago. Next to my daughters, Clean Energy Trust is my proudest achievement. 10 years ago, Nick Pritzker and Michael Polsky asked me to join them on this adventure. And in 10 years, I'm so blown away by how much we have achieved. All of the companies created, jobs created, innovation unleashed, and carbon abated. And I'm so grateful to Nick and Michael for all of their entrepreneurial leadership as well as their financial support over the years. And I'm also really grateful to Tim Schwartfeger and Keith Crandell, two additional founding board members who are retiring from the board this year. Your wisdom and financial support has been critical to the organization. And lastly, I'm so grateful to Eric Burkertz for his steady leadership of the organization. It has thrived under his guidance, and he has inspired in me a love of vests. So enjoy today, and let's look forward to what we can do in the next 10 years. Thank you.
Hi everyone, it's Nancy Fun from DBL Partners here in the Bay Area. I just couldn't be more excited to add my congratulations on the 10-year anniversary of the Clean Energy Trust, and to give a shout out to Nick Pritzker and Michael Polsky for their role in founding the Clean Energy Trust 10 years ago and their commitment as board members, and congratulate you as you move to emeritus status. I'm sure you're going to be keeping that connection going in many constructive ways. So one of the things that we love about the Clean Energy Trust at DBL is its commitment to the entrepreneurial voice in climate change abatement, and the way that you are able to bring together policy, entrepreneurs, products, technologies, companies, and really make a difference and bring together those stakeholders in a way that has concrete results. So with that, just want to repeat, congratulations. You have a wonderful celebration, and looking forward to working together over the years to come. Thanks so much.
Thank you very much, Clean Energy Trust, for 10 years of dedication to the Midwest and the clean tech industry. I was honored to be able to speak at one of your conferences a few years back. I really want to thank Nick Pritzker and Michael Polsky for founding Clean Energy Trust 10 years ago and being so active on the board. I really want to thank you for your leadership around climate wealth and inspiring hundreds, if not thousands of people to join our movement. Thank you very much.
I've been a fan of Clean Energy Trust since before it was cool. Come to think of it, I guess it's always been cool. Visionary investors, amazing mentors, and of course, inspirational cohorts. One of my favorite professional memories was interviewing the incomparable Jim Rogers at the Clean Energy Trust Challenge in 2016. Thanks so much for including me as part of your extended family and letting Jigger and me use your success as fodder for the Energy Gang.
Hey everyone, Shokan here. Well, Paul Seidler told me that Jigger Shaw had already recorded one of these videos and that it was pretty good. So here I am resorting to party tricks to compete. I just want to congratulate Clean Energy Trust on 10 amazing years. I'm a huge fan of the organization. I think the work that you all do is incredible. As a native Wisconsinite, I couldn't be happier that there's an organization with such strength operating in the Midwest. Keep doing what you're doing, and I will come up with something even better for your 20th year.
Hey, Sean Caston here. I want to wish a very happy 10th anniversary to the Clean Energy Trust. Thank you to Nick Pritzker. Thank you to Michael Polsky for having the vision, keeping this going. Here's to 10 years more and counting for all that you do. Thank you. Stay safe, everybody, and keep on rocking.
I want to give a big congratulations to the Clean Energy Trust for celebrating 10 years of promoting clean tech in the Midwest and especially here in Chicago. My story is only possible because of the Clean Energy Trust. So I want to say on a personal level, thank you so much to the Clean Energy Trust team for what you do for the innovation community here in Chicago. And I very much am looking forward to all you will do over the course of the next decade. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I'm Mayor Lori Lightfoot, and I want to congratulate everyone at the Clean Energy Trust for its 10 years of passion and commitment to furthering the clean tech industry here in Chicago and across the entire region. Let me also give a special shout out to Nick Pritzker and Michael Polsky for their decade of service as they transition to emeritus board status. Confronting the critical urgency of global warming and climate disruption is the singular challenge of our age. And success in that mission rests on the work you do in supporting the entrepreneurs and startups who are creating solutions to this worldwide cause. So congratulations to all of you once again, and please keep up the great work. Thank you, and please continue to be safe.
Good afternoon. My name is Ian Adams. I'm a managing director here at Clean Energy Trust. Thank you to everyone that took the time to submit a video clip. We appreciate your kind words. Next up, we've got our lightning pitch segment. So we're going to hear from 6 different clean tech startups from around the Midwest. First up, we're going to hear from 2 of our portfolio companies, Mobius and C-Motive, and then NUMiX, which is the 2020 US Bank Clean Tech Inclusion Award winner. And thank you to US Bank for your support on that effort. All right, let's hear from Mobius.
Hi, Co-Invest. I'm Jeff Beagle, co-founder, chief science officer, and lieutenant beard at Mobius, where our mission is to create a world where there's wonder in waste. We envision a future where waste from food, forestry, and agriculture are upcycled into valuable chemicals and materials. Today, there's over 1 billion tons of organic waste produced each year from food, forestry, and agriculture. This is equivalent to 7 gigatons of CO2. The way we see it with all of this waste, the future is garbage. To make our products, we take organic waste and using the powers of chemistry, biology, and engineering, convert these into valuable chemicals and materials. These chemicals and materials fit into existing supply chains where we partner with manufacturers to produce them. For us, we see organic waste as a composite of 4 ingredients: fats, sugars, proteins, and lignins. When we find a new waste stream, we create a kind of waste nutrition label based on the ingredients that we're working with and build technologies to convert these into useful products. Today, I want to highlight 2 of these technologies for you. First is a cell-free biological platform that converts cooking oils from the food industry into specialty chemicals. These specialty chemicals can be used in applications such as packaging, agrochemicals, and personal care applications. The second technology is a platform to create bio-based and biodegradable polymers from lignin, the primary waste product of the paper and biofuel industry. These polymers are produced on standard manufacturing equipment and can be distributed across multiple manufacturers and turned into products like flower pots, controlled release fertilizers, and mulch film. We have a great team of nerdy scientists and advisors, and we've grown quite a bit since we joined the CET family in 2018. We've been fortunate to leverage several grants to support most of our work, notably from the National Science Foundation, the USDA, the Kroger Company, and the Wells Fargo IN2 program. One of the biggest updates that I'd like to share is that last year, we completed 2 manufacturing trials using commercial scale equipment like this, where we produced our lignin polymers on the order of 1 ton per day. I'd like to close with a quote from one of our unofficial advisors and waste experts, Oscar the Grouch. "Just because you're trash doesn't mean you can't do great things. It's called garbage can, not garbage cannot." If you're interested in working with us, either as an investor, a corporate partner, or joining our team, please stop by our booth to talk afterwards. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Justin Reed, co-founder and CEO of MITO Technologies. Electricity contributes upwards of 25% of our global greenhouse gas footprint. Of that electricity, over 90% is produced using electric generators, nearly half is consumed by electric motors, and there's a tremendous amount of power loss in these devices. In other words, a new platform that allows for greater energy efficiency can produce enormous economic and environmental benefits, to the tune of over $130 billion in cost savings and nearly a gigaton of CO2 reductions. That's on an annual basis. So C-Motive is developing a new platform electric motor and generator technology for greater performance, efficiency, and simplicity. We have 10 times more torque than competing technologies. We have over 98% energy efficiency, and we have no magnetics, so we don't need rare earths. We already spin at low speed, so we don't need a gearbox. And because we're such high efficiency, we don't need any extra cooling systems because there's really no heat generated inside. Under the hood, our technology takes plates rather than coils and magnets, and those plates are submerged in a dielectric liquid. That liquid produces 300 times more torque than was possible using air alone. And we're able to connect these motors and generators to practical power sources like lithium-ion battery packs or even into the wall using our current source inverter power converter that we've developed. Wrapping up all these innovations is an enormous set of intellectual property, including pending patents, issued patents, licensed patents, and an enormous amount of trade secrets, as you can see. So our value propositions are many. Specifically for renewable generators, this means the lowest cost of energy, because a wind turbine using our generator produces 20% more power out than was possible using today's technology. And it eliminates the major maintenance headaches, which are the gearbox. In urban electric mobility, a drivetrain using our technology is just simpler. There's fewer components, so up to 40% lower CapEx, including a 10% smaller battery pack. So our go-to-market strategy takes our 20-inch, 450 Newton meter motor platform that you see here, applying it to the urban electric mobility space with a contract that we've secured with a tier 1 automotive supplier. We're also in the process of taking that into the renewable generator space using multiple RPE contracts that are currently in process. Early adopters for the technology include robotics, heavy hybrids, and cooling tower motors that you see here. This leads to large-scale growth, as you can see in the coming years, over $100 million in revenue potential, especially taking advantage of the growth in automotive and renewables. So if you're like me and you look around, you see everything around you getting more and more electrified, we share that. We share that vision. We have the team, the tech, the experience, and the moxie to become the world's leading motor and generator supplier in this massive growing marketplace. Thank you very much.
Hey there, I'm Katie Kohlhoff, CEO and co-founder of NUMiX Materials. I'm honored to be with you here today on behalf of NUMiX as the winners of the inaugural Cleantech Inclusion Award, supported by Clean Energy Trust and US Bank. At NUMiX, we're creating sorbents to harvest critical metals domestically, enabling a fundamental shift in the way critical metals are sourced and closing the loop for a clean transition to a circular economy. Now, you may be wondering to yourself why this even matters, and I'd like to use cobalt as an example of one critical metal that we can look at. Today, the consumption pattern of cobalt is largely linear. It's extracted from the earth, made into products like lithium-ion batteries, used and disposed, resulting in massive resource leakage from the overall system. At the same time, cobalt demand is anticipated to grow 10% year over year, so that by 2025, demand outpaces supply from conventional sources. Here in the United States, we're relying on imports for 78% of all cobalt we consume annually to power EVs, to manufacture wind turbines, and to create permanent magnets. The good news is that upgrading the resources currently in use and circulation today represents a huge opportunity to address a growing need, a nearly $5 billion opportunity in the value of cobalt alone. As the old saying goes, waste not, want not. So, okay, how do we prevent waste? NUMiX has developed and is bringing to market proprietary sorbents to extract critical metals like cobalt from diverse feedstocks, such as industrial wastewater. Within minutes of application of our materials, the sorbents become enriched with cobalt, creating a solid mass that's ready to be refined by typical processes. Between steps 1 and 5, we've taken a hazardous waste headache for our customers and turned it into a concentrated value stream of critical metals. Now, NUMiX is beginning our resource upgrade mission by selling sorbents to water treatment customers to upgrade water as well as treatment residue, as we build toward a full-service model within the next 3 years. Removal of metal contaminants from water can be a tricky proposition in industrial settings. We're addressing these market segments because they have the largest need for innovation in metal removal. NUMiX's materials upgrade waste streams to concentrated metal byproducts, turning cost drivers into value drivers. We've been developing these materials since 2018 when we got together at Northwestern University. And now as members of Chain Reaction Innovations at Argonne National Labs, we're scaling production of our sorbents as well as the harvest of critical metals in order to demonstrate our circular economy business model. The Cleantech Inclusion Award allows us to accelerate our rate of deployment as we go forward to increase the scale of critical metal harvest. Preventing resource leakage is a fundamental need, and we believe it's a huge opportunity for clean tech and circular economies. However, it's going to take more to circularize these linear value chains, and we'd love your help upgrading our approach. If you share our vision towards sustainable metals production, let's definitely talk. Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks, Katie. And thanks again to US Bank for supporting the Cleantech Inclusion Award. Hi, I'm Estelle Seals, Director of Operations at Clean Energy Trust. I'm excited to introduce you to the second half of our lightning presentations. All 3 of these presenting companies are a part of Clean Energy Trust's investment portfolio. First, you'll meet Igor, and then you'll meet PowerTech Water. And last but not least, you'll meet Wright Electric. After Wright Electric wraps up, you'll hear from Clean Energy Trust's own Paul Seidler. Paul will introduce you to our newest portfolio companies. And now, without further ado, please join me in welcoming Igor.
Good afternoon. My name is Kim Johnson, and I'm the Director of Marketing with Igor. Igor is a smart building platform designed to digitally augment spaces with turnkey IoT building solutions. Our flagship product, Nexos, is a PoE-based IoT smart building platform that incorporates hardware, software, and cloud analytics to enable smart and secure buildings. We've come a long way since CET first invested in 2015. At that time, we were still developing the foundations of what our product is today. We were working on multiple pilot projects, and we still had a single-digit number of employees. Today, we have more than quadrupled our team and have completed major high-rise installations across the country and globe. Whether it's California or New York, France or India, our projects grow exponentially larger every year. So this year has been a big year for us, despite everything. We've completed the installation of hundreds of thousands of square feet in data centers alone, have projects in schools, hospitals, senior living centers, and offices around the world. Just this year, we unveiled multiple major projects in New York City and have secured many new projects, including a massive 17-building corporate campus project with a major West Coast tech company. We may be a small company from Des Moines, Iowa, but our impact is large. We've developed technology that is, quite simply, the best in the market. We have an intelligent building controls platform that excels technologically and has a vision for the future. That's how we win the biggest projects in the intelligent building market over our biggest competitors. Even with our growth, we remain agile. In response to the pandemic, we created and launched our Nexos intelligent disinfection solution in less than 45 days from concept to reality. That's the culture of this company. Be agile, be visionary, and leverage our IoT software platform to respond to market needs. We currently have secured more than $30 million of projects to be delivered over the next 24 months. If any commercial building owners or tenants would like to learn more about our solution, or if any accredited investors would like to learn more about our growth equity raise, please come speak to us in our virtual booth during the happy hour, or feel free to get in touch with us via the CE team. Thank you for your time today.
Good day. I'm Dr. Cameron Lippert, co-founder and CEO of PowerTech Water. At PowerTech Water, we've developed Electromet, an electrochemical system designed to remove heavy metals from industrial wastewater to meet discharge compliance. We're focused on heavy metals because when metal pollution happens in the environment, it wreaks havoc. It destroys the plant life, destroys the wildlife, and causes serious harm to human life. The major source of heavy metals in water are industrial facilities. And because of the risk, they are highly regulated by the EPA to make sure these metals do not go down the drain. So the current solution they use to solve this problem is outdated. It is complicated, it is time-consuming, and it's expensive. They produce a very toxic sludge byproduct that you have to deal with, but worse, it requires so much time and monitoring and maintenance from users that mistakes happen. The real problem is when mistakes happen, they get fined. Worse, they get shut down. So we've developed Electromet to overcome this burden. Our system removes the metals from the water selectively, instantaneously, without the use of chemicals. And because we use no chemicals, there's no sludge byproducts. But most importantly, our system is fully automated so that you don't have to have the constant interaction with the users. This removes that potential error, the mistakes, to miss those permits and get fined and shut down. We developed a very simple three-phase process to build customer confidence to make sure that they know they will hit their discharge limits reliably and consistently. This involves testing in our lab, doing on-site demonstrations, and then finally, once we know it all works well, install the full system. We have validated this process through a variety of customers, a big one being Toyota. But today, I want to talk to you about a very interesting one that's more recent. We were approached by a mining company who has literally hundreds of billions of gallons of wastewater sitting in these giant ponds. And there's enough copper in that water to be worth trillions of dollars. So they asked us to help them remove this copper and recover it in a purified state so they can go sell it. We were successfully able to deliver an Electromet system that selectively removes the copper from the very complicated wastewater streams, and more importantly, recover it in a state of sufficient purity that they can go and resell it on the marketplace. So we validated our technology and our solution in the battery manufacturing sector, automotive, and now the mining sector. We are now expanding into electroplating, electronics, and the smelting industries. Please go to www.electromet.com to learn more.
My name is Jeff, and I'm from Wright. We're building the world's first commercial zero-emissions airplanes. In 10 years, when you fly from Seattle to San Francisco, you'll be flying on one of our airplanes. This is the airplane we're taking to market. It's called the Wright 1. Our first customer is EasyJet, the third largest short-haul airline in the world. They partnered with us because our planes can lower their costs, increase their profit margins, and eliminate their carbon footprint. A big reason why electric planes haven't happened yet is components were too heavy and certification wasn't possible. Wright is solving these challenges with lighter motors, modern aerodynamics, and regulatory leadership. And as recognition of our work, NASA and the US Department of Energy have awarded us prestigious contracts to support our development. We beat out dozens of competitors, and we've won collectively millions of dollars in awards. Wright's market is the 737 market, which is the largest in the world. It makes up 75% of all airplanes sold. Our plane is designed for the 50% of 737 flights that are shorter than 800 miles. It's a $1.5 trillion market over the next 20 years. And as batteries get lighter, we'll expand the range of our plane until every short flight is zero emissions. The major macroeconomic shift that's making this possible is that worldwide, across multiple industries, governments are passing laws to legislate green technologies. This means that once EasyJet is getting higher profit margins with our zero emissions planes, everyone else will also have to stay alive. I started Wright because one year I took 5 international flights and tripled my carbon footprint. It shocked me how bad flying is for the environment. So I built a team of award-winning motor, aerodynamics, and certification experts. And with this team, we'll get to market a decade ahead of the incumbents. Last year, we converted a crop dusting agricultural plane into a hybrid electric, and we designed our own ultra-efficient motors. This year, we're testing our motors on the ground and preparing for flight demonstrations. Again, we're Wright Electric. We're building short-haul, zero-emissions airplanes. It's a $1.5 trillion market, and we have a top team. And we're working with EasyJet, NASA, and the US Department of Energy. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff. You, my friend, are a true inspiration. We're all super excited about what you're doing at Wright, and I'm just grateful to be a small part of it. Hello, everyone out there. Thank you for joining us at Co-Invest Cleantech 2020. My name is Paul Seidler, Managing Director here at Clean Energy Trust. So here we are celebrating our 10th anniversary. I really love this event every year. It's a great opportunity for us to work closely with our portfolio companies and give them a platform for them to share their story with the world. Normally we get together in person. Obviously this year's a little bit different, but we decided to embrace it and make it the first ever time we've held our event where pants are optional. I was skeptical at first, but I don't know. I'm kind of enjoying it. What do you think about this year's format? Let us know in the chat. So, you've heard from a handful of our legacy companies, but we've been busy this year making new investments too. We've run an extensive due diligence process. We've looked at hundreds of early stage clean tech startups. I want to thank my team, Tony Zhu and Dylan O'Reilly, for all their hard work. You also heard from Ian Adams earlier today. I also really want to thank our investment committee. They are so critical to working through this process with us. So thank you, Rob and Sarah and Kevin, Josh, Gerd, Brian, Jeff. I hope I'm forgetting a couple people, but thank you so, so much. So we made 4 new investments in 2020 so far, and I gotta tell you, they are pretty sweet. We have something for everyone today. If you're into batteries, we got you covered. If you're into advanced materials, we got you covered. Water IoT, if that's your thing, we got that too. We even have silicon photonics today, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, we have silicon photonics. Now, it's time to hear from the new kids on the block. They are backstage, they're ready to go. They are Renewance. Iris Light Technologies, Varuna Tech, and MITO Material Solutions. Let's get down to the nitty gritty. Let's get this show on the road. This is Co-Invest Cleantech. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Renewance.
Paul, thank you for the introduction. I'm Jamal Burki, a co-founder and CEO of Renewance. Climate change and environmental concerns are rapidly transitioning motive and energy industries away from fossil fuels towards renewable energy. Most renewable energy is intermittent and distributed. So to make this transition successful, there's got to be a way to store energy. And to store energy, we need batteries, a lot of batteries. Hundreds of millions of advanced industrial batteries are being made in a highly dispersed manner. The problem is nobody knows how to manage the batteries when they do reach end of life. Current reality is that existing solutions are very costly, they're inefficient and resource intensive. The regulations that govern batteries or used industrial batteries are complex and evolving. Pricing, economic effect, or environmental effect varies significantly depending on the location and the solution. It's very difficult to optimize end-to-end solution for industrial batteries. To illustrate, I'll share an example. Suppose you have 20 megawatt hours of lithium-ion industrial batteries. These would be equivalent to anywhere from 2 to 250 Tesla Model S battery packs or 2 to 3,000 stationary energy storage batteries. Today, you have to actually pay to get these batteries recycled. So you could end up spending more than $100,000 to recycle these batteries. There's another option. Someone could actually pay you $500,000 for these batteries, depending on the duty cycle and the makeup of these batteries. When I say makeup, in chemistry, how much cobalt or nickel it has. However, in this instance, you would not know what actually ends up with these batteries. Do they actually get deployed into a secondary application that is a good match, it's safe to use in that application, or get broken down and individual cells are sold off on the internet, or they could be shipped overseas? There's a better solution. We call it responsible reuse. What this would entail is the batteries are validated for state of health for the remaining capacity. They're batched, and then they are placed into a secondary application through a qualified off-taker to ensure the batteries are safely redeployed, and eventually when they do reach end of life, they are recycled. This market does not exist. Here at Renewance, we have developed a solution that is environmentally responsible, economically viable, and it's transparent and ensures safety and compliance to regulations. We call it Renewance Connect. Renewance Connect is a data and technology-enabled marketplace. It uses the service-on-demand business model, which basically uses the existing capacity in the system for logistics, recycling, and repurposing. To illustrate the platform that we have successfully used for processing over 500 metric tons of advanced industrial batteries with various chemistries and form factors, I will show a demonstration of the platform. Renewance Connect is a cloud-based, technology-driven marketplace. The user places the batteries onto the marketplace through identifying the priority. Is the priority environmental optimization or cost optimization? Once the batteries are placed on the market, the platform automatically sends out requests for proposals to pre-qualified and vetted marketplace participants. The proposal is reviewed by the asset owner. Based on the proposals, a proposal is selected, and with a click of a button, the project can be initiated. The entire process takes place on Renewance Connect, both the logistics, transportation, recycling, and repurposing. Our business model consists of two key revenue streams. The first one consists of per transaction revenue, anywhere from $5 to $10 per kilowatt hour, depending upon the size of the transaction. Our second revenue stream consists of subscription revenue for Renewance Connect platform. Our customers that have an annual subscription have access to an enhanced version of Renewance Connect Marketplace. In addition, they all have access to advanced features like warranty management, asset monitoring, and access to a 24/7 call center. Our future plans include enhancing our offering by developing a application usage for the set of batteries to further enhance the value. Very similar concept to Carfax. Like if you understand how old the car is and how many miles and the ownership of the car, it actually adds value at the sale of. We believe that's a good model for industrial batteries because batteries are a consumable just like an automotive is. Renewance Connect is the only solution available which provides a one-stop shop for all challenges facing industrial batteries being deployed in motive and stationary energy storage. Since our inception, we have continued to grow responsibly. We became profitable without raising external funding. The platform has been commercially launched. Some of the largest energy and EV fleet customers have used the platform. We completed decommissioning of one of the largest stationary energy storage systems and successfully concluded a global take-back program for a large battery OEM. We have customers and associations, one of the top global corporations, including large electric utilities, independent power producers, global battery OEMs, and commercial EV fleet operators. We are a proud winner of the U.S. Department of Energy Battery Prize. We just submitted for phase 2, and we're looking forward to winning phase 2 and phase 3. We take a lot of pride to be Clean Energy Trust portfolio company. Our team comprises of seasoned industry leaders, over 100 years of experience in both energy and motive applications. Please join us to solve this growing problem for industrial batteries in both the motive and stationary energy storage. I look forward to talking to parties that are interested to know more about Renewance, and also looking for collaboration in further growing the company. Thank you for listening.
Hello, my name is Chad Husko, and I'm the founder and CEO of Iris Light Technologies. And our company is going to change the way that you think about light. Now, you may have heard that the phone in your pocket is more powerful than the computer that got us to the moon. You might be asking immediately, well, how is this possible? Or you might have even know that fact already. The answer is chips, the electronics living inside of the phones, right? And we know chips are everywhere. They're not just in phones. They power the computers, they power cameras, even our microwaves, smart appliances, everything. Now, what if I also told you that we're in the middle of a brand new chip revolution where instead of just electricity, we're now using light? This is silicon photonics or light chips. And light can do a lot of things that electronics can't do. So you can really think about this silicon photonics industry as the marriage between optical technologies, which are a $500 billion industry, with electronics manufacturing, which is also $500 billion a year. Right, living right at that intersection, we have our light chips that are giving unprecedented performance, and we're talking a whole bunch of different areas that optics traditionally plays a role and new ones that it's unlocking. We'll go into these in a little bit. I want to make this a little bit more tangible for you and talk about a place where light chips are already having a huge impact. Now, optics has been in the data center for quite some time now. And you might have heard that data centers are, in fact, what drive the cloud. And Cisco just had a report that said 95% of all data center traffic is driven by cloud applications. And of course, it's only growing. This is a crazy area of growth. Now, where are light chips exactly? They are the things that connect the different servers inside of the data center. So for example, when one computer wants to talk to another one way on the other side, it does not go through electricity, but rather it goes through a light chip in order to make that happen. Quite simply, electrical signals don't work. Now, with this insane growth rate that we're talking about, we're already witnessing huge performance boosts every year in terms of energy efficiency, cost, and performance for light chips. This is also a huge environmental problem because data centers are consuming between 2 and 3% of global electricity, and also that amount of global emissions per year. Further, there's a bottleneck inside of the data center. Current demands project 1,000x required bandwidth increase in the next decade. This is because of the Internet of Things, edge computing, and of course the AI cloud, which isn't even here yet, which will even be a bigger bandwidth hog. So we need to solve this problem. And this is exactly where Iris comes in. With our method, we can put hundreds of lasers directly on the chip to give a higher degree of integration. And if there's one big lesson we learned from electronics, it's that more integration leads to that bigger performance. And with more lasers here, we're able to overcome and crack this bandwidth bottleneck in chips. Now compare that quickly to what's going on there today. The limit is 4 lasers, and the roadmap looks pretty sparse beyond going beyond 4 lasers. And we have a truly unique solution to solve this problem. Iris is the way forward to get the super dense integration required for this ecosystem. Now, this is only the beginning of the story. That's only value proposition number 1, putting lasers on the chip. Here's a second critical one that is truly differentiated for Iris. And this is the availability of a wide color spectrum. While others are focusing their solutions on a single market, single application, Iris has a color spectrum that will enable continuous growth over the decades to come. Now, this happens through 2 key methods. One is the tunable ink color. So our inks can be tuned, just like a printer has different colored inks. Iris has different colored inks. Most importantly, from a business perspective, what this allows us to do is rapidly prototype and meet the demands of our customers who demand different colors for the different applications that we showed you with these icons here. For example, in the world of gas sensing, so explosive gases in mining or methane detection, instead of 4 different sensors required for covering one application, you can make one Iris chip with 4 of those sensors embedded directly on the chip. In this cloud example that we're giving you, right, you can get way more bandwidth for the same cost. And equally important, you can have more energy efficiency in terms of bandwidth per chip. There are endless possibilities with this technology on one single platform. And the best part is what we've just shown you there is just the tip of the iceberg. We're enabling a whole new Moore's law for light chips. All those different applications, that's just the beginning. And now is a perfect time to invest in this technology. Light chips are booming. The market has gone from commercial launch in 2010 to $1 billion this year. And it's only accelerating in growth. We're talking about 45% growth projected over the next decade, crossing $23 billion by 2030. Now, to solve this problem, we put together a strong team. Shown here are the current Iris teammates. Myself, founder and CEO, I have a PhD from Columbia University. I've worked in silicon photonics for over 15 years, managed a number of programs around there. Ellie Price, who joins us in business development, and Josh Wood, who is a co-inventor and a nanomaterials expert including manufacturing. We're also joined by industry expert Michael Lear, Leon Tsutsumi, and Rick Penning, both of whom have worked in industrial startups here in Chicago. And that's just our core team. We also have an extended network of individuals who have joined us who are experts in photonic inks, printed electronics, nanomaterial synthesis, and so on. In the past 2 years, we've gone from an Argonne National Lab spinout. The first big investor in this technology was the Chain Reaction Innovations Program. We are currently based at Argonne, where we're doing this work, combining photonics and materials, which is perfectly suited for Argonne. We have acquired a partner in AIM Photonics, who has provided us with in-kind support through chips. We've also landed non-dilutive funding from the Department of Idaho. And here you can see Sam and Florent here, two of our other teammates working full-time on this program, synthesizing the inks and the nanomaterials. And also recently, we secured a phase 2 contract from the Air Force to go along with our investment from the Clean Energy Trust and a more recent angel investment. Now is exactly the time to accelerate. We're building on a foundation of $1.3 million of funding already secured, and we are raising. Right now is the perfect time to get up on that S-curve and to accelerate the Moore's Law for light chips right here with us in Iris Light Technologies. The future is light. Iris Light.
Hi, my name is Shay Fabade, CEO and co-founder of Varuna. And at Varuna, we're bringing visibility to water system operators so that they can deliver clean water efficiently. Before I dive into the business, I'll just touch briefly on my background and my co-founders. I've spent 18 years in the utility industry, predominantly in power, including a stint as an operations engineer for a power plant in London, and then moved to the US and started Varuna while Power to Switch while I was in business school at the University of Chicago, which is when I met Jamel, my co-founder. He was an early employee who ended up leading sales, really on the founding team. And we've come together to address a problem that we all experience, you and I, which is experienced through poor quality water. But the real issue is that water system operators do not have visibility into water beyond the water treatment plant. The consequence of that, as I've just mentioned, is poor water quality, which in some cases leads to death, as in this case recently in Houston, Texas. But the Houston, Texas scenario is not just the only one. We all remember what happened in Flint, and unfortunately, 53 million Americans drank contaminated water at some point last year due to violations by 42,000 systems. And as I've just shared, the real issue here, yes, we know the infrastructure constraints, but the real issue here is that water system operators know exactly what's going on in the plant. Once they pump it out into the distribution system, they either wait for you and I to call to let them know if there's a problem, or they send a guy on a truck to take a sample, which means they're blind to the real-time state of water quality. When that technician grabs the sample, brings it back to the lab, it doesn't get shared across the organization, which means there's higher unlikelihood that the remediation actions necessary will be taken, and technicians, like all human beings, have errors in their work. And so what we do to address this problem is simply drop in nodes, what you see on the right of your screen, into the critical spots, EPA-defined spots within their distribution system. The nodes pull data back into simple but intuitive AI-powered dashboards that alert if there's a problem, provide remediation workflows, and also, as we gather more data, we can start to predict what might happen in terms of water quality so that the operators can address them proactively instead of the reactive nature of their operations currently. We take away the manual truck rolls and replace it with 30% increased efficiencies through IoT devices in the field, which reduces the violations the water system has and improves the operational capability of the technicians that they currently use for the manual process. And beyond just the improvements in water quality, we also do this at a price that our customers have told us is reasonable and affordable for them, cheaper than the $1 million software and IoT solutions being offered by some of our competitors, and still cheaper than the manual but old and inefficient approaches that the water systems use. We provide our service to them as a software as a service offering that is familiar. And the timing is right too. We're seeing investor-owned utilities buy up municipal utilities that are struggling under the strain of both COVID and climate change. And as these IOUs buy up the municipal utilities, which make up part of this $4.5 billion addressable market that we're approaching, we're seeing increased adoption of advanced technologies like IoT and AI in the industry. Hence, our initial target market is the investor-owned utilities. And beyond just dropping the nodes into the system and providing deep insights based on the data we capture, we're moving the utilities into a future where they have digital representations of their physical system so that they can run future water systems that consistently, because of an understanding of the system, consistently deliver clean water. And we're doing this, and we've been doing this for about 1.5 years now as we execute with capital efficiency, and we nail the profile and the need of the customer over the first 1.5 years. And we're pushing into progressing with our go-to-market strategy of investor-owned utilities that I mentioned, with our first investor-owned utility contract, memorandum of understanding with Rotoplas, the largest water system in Mexico, with 6 million customers. We also signed Trenton and Benton during COVID. As we continue to progress, and with that clarity, we've built a robust pipeline of customers and prospects that we're moving through the pipeline, the funnel, with increased sales velocity. And we're doing this in a market where we have some old incumbent competitors that haven't really adopted innovative technology, startups in the industry that are monitoring usage and leakage, and companies like Itron from the power sector that are trying to get into water. But we've nailed the product, the promise for the market segment, and we're competing clearly in a space where some of these competitors are unable to match the way we've approached it yet. And we're doing this with a team of experts in software, hardware, and partners like the Clean Energy Trust that are propelling us into delivering our product through a simple, straightforward business model, software as a service, tiered based on the size of the utility and their desire for advanced technology. And we're approaching them with a two-pronged go-to-market strategy. Enterprise sales directly to the investor-owned utilities that gets us into a few hundred of their water systems in the portfolio, and partnerships with consultants, numerous consultants in this industry who have trusted relationships with water utilities, and our product complements the service that these consultants provide. And with this strategy, we're looking to get into 50 investor-owned utilities by year 4 with this clarity of market segment. It allows us to get into the IOU and flow down into their portfolio of a few hundred water systems, hence the projections you see up here. And we're already on our way. We just closed our seed round and moving towards our vision of building water systems of the future, digital representations of the physical water system, so water system operators can deliver clean water consistently. And even though we've raised our round, we'd love to still talk to you, have conversations with you if you believe in this digital water future that we're building for water systems. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Kevin, Head of Product.
And I'm Haley Marie Keith, CEO. And we're the founders of MITO Materials Solutions. I grew up in Elkhart, Indiana, the RV capital of the world. My mom was an industry executive, and I always knew that I wanted to be in business just like her. I sped through school and graduated high school at 16 years old. In undergrad, I studied history and wrote my senior thesis about two things that really shaped me: American consumerism and its effect on the RV industry. So today, I want to start off with a little history lesson. Early RVs started popping up almost immediately after Henry Ford mass-produced vehicles. The first mainstream RV was the forever iconic Airstream, a home on wheels shrouded in metal. Metal, as we all know, is super durable, but super heavy. Most people would need to buy a special vehicle just to tow something like an Airstream. So in order to get more people RVing, the industry needed to lose some weight. They did this by looking at other modes of transportation, like airplanes and boats, and followed their example. The RV industry swapped the exterior metal shell for composite materials, which are 40% lighter and 10 times stronger than metal. The change in materials allowed for the industry to boom and RVing to become a favorite pastime for families, including my own. But there are some industries that didn't get the memo. They are still stuck using bulky metals because external factors are limiting their ability to change materials. And while it's rare to see an Airstream on the road today, I bet you see plenty of freight trailers on your way to work. During the 2020 coronavirus pandemic, climatologists had hopes of a large decline, but the needle barely moved. Ozone pollution decreased by less than 15%, despite a majority of people staying home. That's because semi-truck trailers are one of the largest contributors of carbon emissions, and they had to keep making deliveries to keep the world running. Freight trailer manufacturers have been trying to shed weight and transition to composites for years, but the current technology available on the market just can't handle the load, and nobody wants a forklift falling through the trailer floor. You see, composite materials are lighter than metal, but they are not as durable. They can crack, fracture, and break because the plastic holding them together is brittle. This is one of the main reasons that composites are not the go-to choice for industries looking to lightweight. In order to make composites more durable, they need to add something a little extra.
And that's where MITO Materials comes in. We have a patented functionalization technique that utilizes graphene oxide to make the next generation of materials today. Our flagship product is MITO Ego, a product based on graphene oxide and an epoxide functionality that is a drop-in and seamless solution that goes into any manufacturing process. We're able to make parts twice as durable by increasing mechanical properties by up to 135%. Because of this, we're able to help manufacturers shed up to 35% of the part's original weight. And it's so easy that anybody can do it. All you have to do is measure out 0.1% by weight of Ego, put it into the polymer you're using, and then mix it in. And you can use something as simple as a $5 paint mixer from Lowe's. We've even done this on site. And this can be used in any manufacturing process since it reactively disperses against itself and does not filter out. And a little goes a long way. 2 pounds of Ego can go into enough plastic parts for 5 Ford F-150s or enough epoxy to make 3,000 carbon fiber bike frames better than before. And this is all using the same drop-in solution. But how does this relate back to freight trailers? Well, we know there's a need for stronger composites so they can transition and go the distance. That's why we've partnered with the nation's largest and most innovative manufacturer who has been pushing to make an all-composite trailer for the past 5 years. With Ego, that is now possible. We're able to boost cheaper materials to perform way beyond their more expensive counterparts, 135% to be exact. Because of this, this manufacturer is able to realize their dream of shedding 40% of this trailer's weight, making sense both economically and logistically.
But trucking is just the beginning. Remember that there are so many other industries that use composite materials. The polymer additive market alone is valued at $10 billion today, and the graphene sector is growing 40% year over year, which puts MITO at the cutting edge of this transition. Since 2019, when we launched our product, we have a customer pipeline that is set for $124 million in revenue by year 2025. And we have 15 piloting customers currently testing that couldn't wait to get their hands on our material. So I'm going to tell you a little bit more about these customers and what they're really looking to achieve. It's 3 main points boiled down. They're looking to increase the durability of their products and performance, looking to transition away entirely from metal and onto composite materials, and almost all of them are looking to simplify their process by importing resiliency and efficiencies into their manufacturing lines. My favorite customer story is one that's been able to accomplish all 3 of these. By integrating MITO, they were able to get increased product performance while using 10% less base material, saving themselves over 1 million pounds of plastic on their lines per year. But technology is only half the battle. What makes a material science company successful is the team behind the product. I'm really proud of the team that's assembled around MITO Materials. We're a balanced mix of technical and business talent with experience in chemicals, sales, manufacturing, and B2B composite materials. We're backed by industry experts who advise us regularly. And most of all, our team is tenacious. We are resilient, and we know that it's going to take hustle to revolutionize an ancient industry like composites. And so some of our hustle highlights from over the years. Since 2016, MITO's technology was found sitting on a shelf at a university. And since then, our team and our technology's potential has been awarded several grants and prizes totaling $1.5 million, which helped us bootstrap our proof of concept and our first product, Ego. But today, we are building a scalable platform of products that will revolutionize materials. And we have investors who believe in our vision and cause. We recently raised a Series Seed round of $1 million with DePaulo Ventures and Clean Energy Trust, and we couldn't be more excited to have them on as partners in this venture.
But we're more than just a one-trick pony. Ego might be our flagship product, but we already have others coming down the pipeline. One of which is an acrylic-based product that is geared towards adhesives and bonding dissimilar materials. And we have a bio-based starch additive that is able to go into bio-based and recycled materials to make them perform like never before. At MITO Materials, our goal is to not only revolutionize how the materials around us behave, is to create platform technologies that scale with industry standard equipment while having a large impact in the materials around us to enable a more sustainable future. The team we've rallied together shares this vision and has the passion and know-how to make it possible.
MITO Materials is here to empower the next evolution in materials, to enable today's metal consumers to transition to a lighter, more durable material.
And whether it's cross-Atlantic jets, wind turbines that will power our homes, or the cleats we use in our sports, we're enabling composites to perform better and last longer than before.
Because in order for us to reach a new frontier together, we need to look past the efficiencies we've built and onward to how the materials around us can make us more sustainable and resilient.
Because at MITO Material Solutions, we're here to empower the next material evolution by making all things last longer and perform better.
Because our vision doesn't end with just one material enhancing one product. At MITO Material Solutions, we aim to make all things mighty. Join us today in changing the world and making materials more impactful, more sustainable, and more durable for the future. Thank you so much.
Thanks, MITO, and thanks to all of the incredible companies that presented today. Hi, I'm Susie Spiegelman, Director of Business Development and Partnerships at Clean Energy Trust. In just a couple of minutes, I'm going to transition you to the next part of our program. But before I do, on behalf of the entire Clean Energy Trust team, I'd like to express our sincere gratitude to each and every one of you for attending Co-Invest Cleantech and participating in our Cleantech ecosystem. We can't do the work that we do without your support. So thanks for joining us on the first 10 years of our journey. And we look forward to working alongside you over the next 10 years and beyond. If you haven't yet gotten involved with our work, don't sweat it. just reach out, drop us a note, say hi, and we'll strike up a conversation and find ways to get you involved. Okay, I'm so excited to introduce you to the next part of our program. Over the last several months, we've watched Jason Jacobs and his My Climate Journey podcast absolutely explode. He's been interviewing climate and clean tech celebrities from across the universe with the goal of inspiring and educating more and more people to join our fight against climate change. Today, Jason will be interviewing Amazon's Rodrigo Prudencio, who invests on behalf of Amazon's $2 billion Climate Pledge Fund. It is going to be an amazing conversation. To access it, all you need to do is look at your feed loop screen, locate the On Air with My Climate Journey button, and click on it. From there, Jason will start his interview in just a couple of minutes. After his interview is complete, we hope you'll stick around for happy half-hour sessions with all of today's presenting companies. During those sessions, you'll be able to ask any questions that might have come up during their presentations, as well as network with your fellow attendees. Once again, on behalf of the entire Clean Energy Trust team, thanks for joining us at Co-Invest Cleantech. We hope to see you again soon.